Hoi hoi! It's louisity again, and for this reading vlog, I'm going to read Love Radio by Ebony LaDelle. Hooray! So, I already told about what made me decide to acquire this book, and finally, I'm going to be able to read it. This is one of my books in my August 2024 TBR pile, so from my Alphabet TBR games. So yes, I hope you folks also watch my TBR games because I enjoy filming them. So yes, finally I get to read this one. I already talked about how I acquired it. I've been thinking about acquiring this, and yes, in my book haul I did kind of like share how it is. And I had a peek on like what the summary or like basically what the book is about, like the synopsis, and like just before like filming this, and I see that one of the characters is an aspiring DJ and the other is an aspiring author. So yes, it's great that I get to read about like books that are about, let's say, performers, artists, and the creatives, as something like me, content creator. Hey, fellow content creators, shout out, yes to us in the field of art. Yeah, whatever, whether you're full-time or part-time or whatever time you would call yourself, content creators, people in the creatives field, hoorah! So, yes, I'm definitely excited and eager to start this one. So, let us begin and I'll catch folks later. Whoa! So here's a reading update for Love Radio by Ebony LaDelle, and I am more than 100 pages done, and I have to say that I am not really much of a character-driven kind of person, but like this book makes me want to like root for the two of them, for Danielle and Prince. Like throughout the story, I was just like kind of like, oh my gosh, I was just like so wanting to like cherish them. I just like want to protect them, and I just want to be like, when they grow up, they're gonna be like amazing people. Danny's kind of like one of those girls who kind of like, I think she's gonna be into like social commentaries just because the way she approaches things are kind of like differently, and she's really after representation, in some way as an aspiring author, and I love that about her. She gives me those vibes about those like channels that I watch, that do social commentary content creators, those kind of like content creators that do social commentary. She gives me that vibe. And like some of the scenes like struck me was like when they were at the library. I like how like that statement that was shown. I was just like so eager about like what they're going to be doing next. I was just like seated about like how's Danielle going to be reacting, how's like Prince going to be reacting, what is Prince going to be saying, and like I mentioned Destiny. Like, Destiny is like one of those people where, like, when people say to, like, steer away from them, it's like you get to know really why they give you or, like, provide you that advice, because maybe the energy that's, like, coming in. Because, like, Daniel gave Destiny a chance, and, like, Destiny didn't live up to. So, yeah, and the friendships here, I'm just so, like, with Rashida and Essie. Well, Essie wasn't really shown yet, like on the present scene, but like those scenes, like with Danielle and like Rashida and the comfort room. I felt like, Rashida was like, being such a great friend that she is, and like her characterization of being a great friend just like gravitated me, and that was just like so amazing. And it makes me want to listen to radio again, to like a radio show, probably when I go like somewhere. I want to turn on the radio and like just listen to shows, because like Prince is like a lot of profound like advices, and like the way that he thinks is just someone that you're gonna like be inspired to be better, like kind of like take the good things out of Prince and just like be a better person, whether that is love. And like I just like the way that he thinks about relationships. Like, is it really worth the time to really invest in people, like all the energy, for somebody who doesn't give it to you back in a way? Or kind of like you have to do a reassessment. I just like think that he uses genius, and like everything about it, like that scene when Prince visited Danielle, and they had this like get to know each other, where what you call this, Prince would like to help Danielle with her braids. And like the way, because like Prince's mom has like multiple I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, sclerosis. I pronounced that correctly. Hold on a minute. Yeah, sclerosis or sclerosis. Feel free to comment down below if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm not really a medical expert, my bad. But like, just, sometimes some people's situations like make them more empathic or show empathy towards others more. And the characterizations are really brilliant here. Like, I just want to care for them. I just really want to know what's going to happen next. I like the way that, they're taking it slow, but they really express their intentions, like especially Prince and also Danielle, kind of like, I want to focus more on my career, which is, the characterization of that one is really going to like unleash, whether you align with Danielle or not, whether you align with Prince or not. I'd say that the characterizations are really powerful. So I'm definitely looking forward. I'm seated. Like, I want to know what's going to happen next. What profound things we're going to hear from Prince, and what like profound things are we going to hear from Danielle as well, and maybe even with the other characters, So I'm just like so attached. I was smiling. I was just like really hooked, y'all. I was really hooked. So I'm not gonna wait any longer, because I'm gonna catch you mostly, because I gotta read the succeeding pages. Whoa! Okay, so I'm more than 200 pages done with Love Radio by Ebony LaDelle, and I have to say that the story's just getting better. We still feel like the love, the charm, kind of like the honeymoon, like sweetness, but at the same time we get to know them better. We get to know their circumstances better. I like, how it was like synthesized, like the way Prince was like dealing with his decisions, like the struggles or the challenges that he's like in terms of like going to college and all that stuff. It's going to be out of state or through a community college, and how like his teacher or professor, like in high school, is like willing to help him catch up, and so that he can get like better grades. So yeah, and like the second date is really sweet, like ice skating and all that stuff. I really felt the warmth. And also I'm definitely looking forward to like what's going to happen in the third date. And also like we got to hear more about Danielle's, like what really sort of happened, like something happened that did really happen, kind of like an oxymoron, so yeah. And also like how they're like meeting their families. Oh my gosh, it was just like so sweet the way, the way that the book was able to illustrate them. It was just like wonderful. And I'm so excited to like, hopefully I get to complete this tonight. If not, maybe tomorrow. So yeah, what else can I say? I was just like seated throughout like what's gonna happen. And basically Essie and Danielle sort of like patch things up, which is really wonderful, how it was executed. And Prince's little brother Mook is really sweet, such a darling. Like the characterization was there, So yeah, and I'm definitely looking for it. I felt like I was just so invested, like my emotions are so invested in the story, which to me personally, as somebody who's going to be reading this, I enjoy it. Like as a person who's just want to read a book, it's giving me like positive vibes. It does tackle like certain like things about, say, the challenges of like, are we gonna go forward? It's too early to be in love and all that. Kind of, if I were Danielle, like I totally get it, and personally for me, I align. But feel free to comment down below. It's gonna make you think. Either it will probably make you think like, oh, I agree, or maybe, or I'll think about it, or like no. But yeah, bottom line is the way that the narrative was executed, like it's gonna make you think about like the profound things that we're saying. Like Prince is just so profound. Like the way that he was characterized here was just like genius. Like every time like he's gonna say a line, it's gonna make you think about I'm like so eager about what he's gonna say next, because I feel like I'm hearing such like great advices. I feel like I am learning in this book. So yeah, and I'll catch you folks later. Whoa. Also, I want to share like what happened in the bookstore. Like the way that the setting was like depicted was clear, it was vivid. And as someone like me who is a bookworm, and probably most of y'all watching this reading vlog are bookworms as well, I felt like it was able to execute like the array of books, the little like scavenger hunt that they did, and bookstore and cafe. That's such a great combination for me. So I just finished reading Love Radio by Ebony LaDelle, and let me just fix my bangs for a little bit. And I have to say that it was wonderful. I had a wonderful reading experience of it. I definitely recommend it, especially to teenagers, because the way that it narrated like the scenes here was really like cohesive, and I'd have to say that it was simple, yet like when dealing with the topics of like healing and like growth, especially when you're like a teenager, figuring out yourself and what you're going to be doing next, the crossroads that you're going to be dealing with. It dealt really well with, their decisions about like staying locally or pursuing dreams or, wanting bigger for themselves. Like, I think that this book was written in a way that, was really great. And I just love like how, like there was that scene where like Prince was kind of like thinking or sort of seeing himself in his mother, and I really love that heartwarming scene, that conversation between Prince and his mother, and like Prince has to be out there to grow and he can come back home and be a better person. And I just love that fashion show. They were just like being teenagers, the way that the characterization and the narratives were happening there, it was like genius. And like, what I like overall about this book is that Prince already had a crush with Danielle, since middle grade. It wasn't like, ooh, suddenly like it just suddenly like came off to be like a love at first sight, when it wasn't like a love at first sight, because there are like books that are kind of like have a way to do love at first sight, and it was really meant for that. But this one, well, first of all, it isn't, because like Prince already had a crush on Danielle since like they were like in middle grade, and how like that narrative like developed throughout the story without being overly dramatic. I just love how this book is just so raw and enjoyable in that way. It has its charm of being like simple, like being teenagers basically dealing with academics, dealing with like what do they look forward to in life, what do they want to do, and just the characterizations in terms of like having like multifaceted things that they can be, like who knows, Prince can deal and be a psychologist, in a way, although it wasn't really like outright written, but like Daniel encouraged him to take up psychology because of like his segments and all that, so that he can provide better advice in his like radio shows. And that's what I kind of like getting. And like with Danielle, how she had to like deal with her own struggles so that she can like give herself again towards other people, and rekindle the relationships that she had, whether it's with her friends or somebody who could potentially be her lover. And I like how, that like letter scene, like I feel like I would like to look forward for more, but we'll see. I think like I want to see them like as college students, how they're gonna be. But like I have to say that Ebony knows how to write narratives and characterizations really well, and I'm definitely looking forward for more works from her. So yeah, and I just love the simplicity of it. It's like simplistic chic, I'd have to say. So because of that, I really had a great time. I'm giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. Feel free to comment down below if you've read this novel or if this reading vlog inspired you to read this novel. And if you've made it this far, leave a wand emoji. So I hope you folks enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And I'll put down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye, y'all.